Hello, everybody. Howdy, howdy, howdy. I am running. I'm gunning. Thanks for hanging with me for like 3 minutes while I was getting stuff. Well, here you go. Bada bing, bada boom. Cheers. Happy Friday. Happy, getting ready for Memorial Day. Glad everybody's here. I see some friendly faces. Let's say hi. Tim from Oklahoma. Hey, buddy. Glad you're here. Monkey Sweeper's here from Norman, two from Oklahoma. Are you guys friends? Do you know each other? You want to hang out? Darcel tuning in from upstate New York on a beautiful Friday on the start of a long weekend. Yeah, there's going to be a good long weekend. Memorial Day, if you're not in the U.S., Memorial Day in the U.S., we're taking off Monday. Pretty much everybody's closed. Then we've got, so I'm off. I guess today's Friday. I'm done with the guitar shop for the week. And I'm getting ready. Tomorrow we're leaving. We're going on a trip, going to North Carolina to hang out with some friends and family. Friends and family. Family who is friends. So anyway, Jake Weber is here from Cinnaminson, New Jersey. That's awesome. I've never heard that name before. Cinnaminson. Heard of it? Look at that. I guess OKC is Kansas, right? Nope, Kansas. See? Oh. I'm sorry. I'm an East Coast guy, and then I spent a lot of time on the South. I know very little about the middle of the country or the West, haven't spent as much time as I want around the world. Hello from Edinburgh. Hello from Clinton, Missouri. Heyo. The man of God 68, Witherspoon. Hey. Where are you in upstate New York? I'm in Syracuse. Mr. Sam Vecchio, Jake is here. Daniel's here. Bolton, Texas, Mr. Joe Porter. Hey, buddy. Glad you're here. Hello from Brazil, Fernando. Glad you're here. Paul Fernando? Fernando Paul. Hey, Jake. Oh, I'm just showing you your conversation. Schuer is here. Happy Friday with a wavy hand. And here we go. Hello from Chester, Virginia. That's right. We talked about this. Matt from Chester. I'm not driving through Chester. Maybe. Going 64, 281, whatever around Richmond. I'll probably go down 95 tomorrow. Isn't it your birthday? It's not my birthday. My birthday's in a couple weeks. I put out a video last year on my birthday. It's the 16th of June. June 16th, I'll be 36 years old. And 36 years young. Do you guys see there was a John Mayer video that he's talking about why he put his album, and he took like his whole lifespan, and if you put your whole expected life expectancy to one day, he put out a record, and it's like he's just about lunchtime. So anyway, it's a good way to feel like you're scary. That's a going out drinking shirt. If you throw up on it, nobody will notice. Oh, thanks, Joe. Rocky coming in from Kentucky. Hey, buddy. Mr. Jose is here, driving up to San Francisco for Memorial Day weekend to see my daughter. Man, that's going to be great. Glad you guys are going to get together. And that'll be a pretty drive, too. Heyo, Sam Vecchio says, hey, Jeremy, today is new Dreadnought Day. Just picked up an HD28 from Ish Guitars in Syracuse. I'm smitten, as you should be. What a good Friday. Man, all right. That's exciting. I'm not even going to pretend like this is the last one that was available. This one was there. It belongs to one of my kids. And I said, this is mine today. I'm going to use this. Evan Ogden's here. Hey, buddy. Wes Dove. Hello from up the street. Yeah, he's a hometown boy. So, Wes, glad you're here. OKC, Oklahoma. I got that, Daniel. That's the easy part. But is Oklahoma City in Oklahoma? It is. Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. But isn't Kansas City in Missouri? That's what I was thinking. Whew. If you play that pink floral telly, that shirt, and people, let's see how it goes. Everybody's talking crap on my shirt today. I feel good about this shirt. I like it. And, how about this? How's this? Oh, yeah. How about that? Drink that in. Yeah, suck on that, everybody. I haven't seen Rasmus yet. I don't know what he's up to. But whoa, this chair occasionally. It's when I have the height all the way up. Tries to kill me. Tries to murder me. All right, we're going back to 35 millimeters because it just looks good. Feels right. It's like your eye. It's like we're hanging out, sitting across knee to knee across the table. Can't see the guitar. It's camouflage. Where did it go? Hello, Mr. Patty Paystub, coming from Ottawa, Canada. Hey, I'm going to Canada 2 weeks. I'm going to be with Boucher. So okay, I think that's the last of like everybody saying, hey, well, congratulations, you made it to Friday. And today is a video that well, hang on, let me give announcements first. First announcements, technically, we were supposed to end the pre-sale for all the shirts and get them ordered, but it didn't. And so we're going to make the order. I can make the order today. So this is your last second. If you want a bag of coffee, if you want a t-shirt, if you want a t-shirt in a big size, a small size, if you want it in a color that we're not currently in stock on, this is your last moment. I know a handful of people bought stuff last week. So that brings us up to enough that we can make a good order. And yeah, from a small business side, cash flow, t-shirts are expensive. So anyway, that's one of those things that I get. And anyway, want to make sure that things are all going. Anyway, blah blah blah. I'm reading the captions and I'm distracted. So, other announcements this week. At the end of this video, let me grab it real quick. Or we can do it now. Let's do it now. Yeah, let's do it now. That way I don't have to think of a trivia question later. We are going to, hang on, I'm going to take this thing off so that nobody sees my address, just in case. Come on. Okay. Get out of there. Okie dokie. So, this box came from the gang at, hang on, 1 second. What am I doing? I've lost my mind. Okay. This box is from our friends in Spain, from Jose and Bluebell Straps. If you don't know, I love Bluebell Straps. I've played them for the last couple of years, 3 years now. Jose and I have been friends, and most of my favorite guitar straps, come on, focus, come from them, and they're just really cool. And they just do really cool stuff. So in here is a box of goodies. I'm going to give away a couple things. There are a couple things that I'm going to keep as well. But let's open these, and I will come up with some trivia questions, and that'll get us kicked into. Yeah, this way you're spending no money on a thing, and then we'll talk about when I spent too much money on a thing. Volume is a tad low. What? Okay, let me double check my settings. Okay. Test, test, test. It does look very low. Why are you low? Is that better? How is that? Gaming chair blocks too much of the pretties behind you. Okay. Okay. Let's open some stuff. Let me make sure the volume is better now. Much better. Okay, I don't know. Oh, I'm seeing red. Is it clipping? Only when, yeah, when I leave the mic. Yeah. Okay. All right. Let's open up some stuff from, let me show you a thing first. I'm sorry. I literally have so much ADD. I'm not going to read any comments. Much better. Sounded fine. No. Sounds good now. Okay. All right. I'm not reading any more comments. That's not true. I will read plenty of comments. If you have a comment that's burning a hole in your pocket and you want to know, feel free to use the super chat. Don't take that as me asking for money, but they're way easier for me to see because otherwise it's just me trying to keep up with the chat. So this is my everyday carry guitar kit. I have wanted to make a video. I've talked about this thing a lot. This is if I'm going to buy a guitar, if I'm trying to check something out, if I'm going to hang out and play music with other people, this thing goes in my bag. It stays in either my camera bag, because most places I go, I end up taking photos, just in my own life. And in here is almost everything I need. And so that's where I'm going to put one of these together, and I'm going to mail, I think, 2 of these. I'll have to see how many wallets we've got in here. But this is my absolute must-have for guitar stuff. So number 1, there's a clip-on tuner here on the front. This is from Diodario. Oh, look, my battery's low. But this is an easy clip-on tuner. Clips on the front of here. And then inside the wallet, let me move this. So, bada bing, bada boom, the wallet. Oh yeah, Daniel has one of these. So in here, you can already see there's a page capo. These are my absolute favorite capos. As I drop it on the keyboard and I yell into the microphone. Sorry about that. But dude, these are just so good. They're simple, they're affordable, they're not crazy. Now the other thing I keep in here, let's keep going on the adventure. Next thing I go, I have sweaty hands, but in the winter my hands get really dry. Oh, look how long my pinky finger is. Yeah, don't look at that. People, I've asked so many times if I should make a video talking about fingernails. Every time people say, no, don't do it. Please don't do it. So anyway, Picker's Grip is a super helpful, it's a little brick of, it's some mix that Billy makes. So this is made in Charlottesville, Virginia, not far from me. Billy's been a friend of just mine and a friend of the channel for a while. And so this is a beautiful smelling little piece of wax. And so what you do is you take your pick and you wipe this on, and it makes, just gives you a little bit of, stick. Doesn't make it sticky, but gives you some tack. So if you struggle with being tacky, I don't. This is a really helpful thing. And there's a link in the description below for these. I love these. I also, if you need some, let me know. We got some at Hometown Music that I can mail to you. And yeah, let's keep exploring the pouch of wonders. The next thing inside the pouch is trying to seize my face. I have to put this in front of my face. The next thing in here is, hang on, I'm just going to empty it all out. All right, I keep a handful of things in here. Number one, I keep a replacement. I don't need this, but I don't have another place to store it per se. This is just an extra replacement for the front of the capo if I need it. Now, I also keep a couple prime tone picks. These have been my favorite picks for the last couple of years, ever since doing the shootout. So I don't actually use this shape as much anymore. I've moved on to the triangle. I also have one of the fancy schmancy Martin picks that they gave. I got this when I was at the artist room earlier this year. Now the last thing is, sometimes I'm playing, and this is a recent addition, but sometimes I'm playing, and come on. So sometimes I'm playing, and I end up getting to where my guitar stuff, like if I have a strap that's kind of loose, this thing really helps. You basically put the strap on and then put one of these. They're rubbery, they're stretchy, and so you can then put it on after the strap, and it keeps the strap from falling off. I have one strap in particular that this goes with. So this is the cheapest of the Page capos. They're now $30, but I think they're totally worth it. I mean, Kaiser capos have gotten expensive too. They're like $25. So for $5 more, you get a capo that is much better, in my humble opinion. Now, that's why this thing, so if you add up, okay, so I don't know how much these are. I would bet $20 or so. I'm probably wrong. I don't know. I can double check. Or could one of you guys double check? I've wondered also on the live show if I should I used to have Dylan, but he went and graduated from college. Dylan used to be able to Google things for me on the fly. But so you have the leather pouch, then you have the picks. The Primetone picks are like $2, $3 a piece. You've got $10 for the Picker's Grip, and then this is kind of an expensive pick, probably $15, $20, maybe $25. Then the tuner, I'm betting this is $25 or $30, and $30. So 30, 30, 10, 70, plus like $2. I'd call that $6. Yeah, you got pretty much everything you need for, oh boy, doing math in front of people, $80 or so. 19, okay. So, yeah, 19 pounds, 90 cents. So, okay, that's from the website. Daniel and I are both huge fans of this. Yeah, the rubber washers are also great for keeping pedal knobs in place. That's good. Oh, yeah, I've seen it. Yeah, I've seen that. Okay. So, adjusted for coming into US dollars, that's $22. That's awesome. Okay. So, basically, I'm going to give away, I will make up another one of these. I've got to get a capo. It might have a Shub capo in it, which isn't my favorite capo, but I have one, and I'll give it to you. So, I'm going to give away one, maybe two of these. So, with all of that said, I'm going to zoom back out. And don't move the camera, Jeremy. I'm going to open this up, and we'll jump into it. The other thing with all of these straps, they have such, holy cow. Okay, yeah, they have such cool presentation. So this is one of the strap bags from Bluebell. So coming in here, oh boy, oh sweet mama, oh just a rich chocolatey, beautiful guitar strap. Man, look at that thing, and a beautiful big embossed logo. And this thing's super squishy. Holy moly, hamana. Man, I have one old, I don't have any brown straps. That's why I got this one. I have a couple guitars that black just doesn't quite work. Now, okay, here's the second bag coming out of here. So now here is, oh, okay. I'm trying to sneak and feel around in there first. Oh, okay. Here's the strap I've been the most excited about in the most recent run. Look at that thing. So, holy cow. The quality is so good on these. Man, awesome. Okay, so both of those straps immediately have a place. And I don't see any of the... That's unfortunate. Open, smile, rock and roll. We hopefully enjoy your purchase. We hope you enjoy your purchase. All of your products have been handcrafted in Spain with great attention to detail. Our selection of leather passes the highest quality controls for durability and beauty. Why don't you try it and let us know about your purchase in action? It was all in caps, so that's why I read it that way. But Bluebell straps, thanks Carlos. And okay, we had talked about doing a couple, we talked about doing a couple of the leather wallets in there. There aren't any, so I will owe you one. But I can make up the kits otherwise. So, with all that said, let me come up with a trivia question. We'll do two of the DIY kits, or not DIY, EDC, everyday carry kits, and I'll throw in a prime tone, one of these guys, a capo, and a tuner. So, what should I do? Yeah, should have done. Yeah, your HD28 is strapless. Okie doke. Well, I don't have the pouches. I'll just give away. No, hang on. I'll do two of the kits. Trivia question: what was the last year Martin did herringbone on the D28? Since Sam just got a 28. The dark brown chocolate colors they have are beautiful. They really are. I mean, this one is just excellent. What? Jasper? North Jasper? You're in Barcelona? I didn't know that. Yeah, so what was the year that they stopped? When people talk about, like, Martin stopped, is it a herringbone? What year did they stop putting herringbone on? Hey-oh! Mr. Ryan Doval got it. 1947. Technically 46, 47. It's technically a window, but 1947 was the first year that they did not have them. So, Ryan, you won. That way I don't have to mail stuff to you. So, Ryan, I'll get you one of these everyday carry kits. I owe you. He's a local guy. He's here in town. So, yes, they are still doing it, but a general history of herringbone on 28s was, I forget what year it started, but it stopped in 46 or 47. And then from there you would get a 28, and it would have forward shifted X bracing, and it was just a D28, did not have herringbone. And it wasn't until 1976, 77? 76 or 77 is when they brought out all of that. Hey, Bluebell Straps is here. Hey, we just went through, we've just opened up all the stuff. That's what we've been doing this whole bit. And so anyway, we're giving away two of the kits. First year was 1934, I think. Yeah, I think it was pretty much as soon as the 28 came out, they put in one of those. So Anyway, so Rind Oval, I owe you one. Second trivia question. Yep. So they had a distinct herringbone pattern that lined up to the top of the guitar. However, this was discontinued in 1946 as the German-made materials were no longer available in post-World War II. Happy about it. I am too. I'm excited to give some of these away. I went through and I did a tour of like my full everyday kit. So I need to get a couple of these. Come on, it won't focus. Anyway, focus. It's not doing it. It's just looking at my face. But yeah, all right. Well, second trivia question. Let me come up with this real quick. Second trivia question. Hang on, I'm going to do a quick Google on this other page, which means you can also do the same Google. Hang on, let's do... I should have planned this out. I didn't plan it out, and I'm sorry. I owe you all better than this. I'm better than this. No Martin's questions. Let's do it. Let's do a different question. Let's do... Here's an easy one. In 1961, what is special about a 1961 Gibson Les Paul Custom? What's special about it? Or what's unusual about it? 1961. You can do it. I know that you know this one. June 16th? No, that's my birthday, though. That's cheating. I didn't actually Google one. So, yeah. Look at that. Crown inlay. Double cutaway. Yes. 3 pickups. Yes. Has a vibrola. Okay, let's talk about that. Daniel technically got it. Well, yeah, it was an SG shape. It was not a Les Paul shape. So let's say, I think Jowan's guitar, I think you technically got it. So I want you to email me your information. So send it to info@JeremySheppard. No, hold on. Go to assistant. My assistant will get it, and she'll do this because I'm not great at details or follow up. So email assistant, however you spell that word. That's one of the... I get hung up on certain words I can't spell. At Jeremy Sheppard, JeremySheppard.com. And so, yeah, I think that's technically the closest, fastest, but it was a cutaway. It definitely, it looked... What, in like 60, the Les Paul was a bad seller. They just didn't do well, and so they redesigned them completely, and what later became the SG, Les Paul didn't actually like, but for 2 years or so, yep, the double cut SG, yep, absolutely. All right, well, let's talk about the live show today. So the theme of today's show, as we're 27 minutes in, is that I want to talk about times that I spent too much money on a guitar. Now, thankfully, I'm vacillating between, I feel unqualified. I picked a topic that later I was like, I haven't actually lost money on that many guitars. I haven't overspent on guitars. And I don't want it to feel... yeah, there you go. Perfect. Yeah. Send me your info and tell me, and it's Caitlin is my assistant. So tell Caitlin I won the Bluebell straps giveaway, and we'll get you one of these everyday carry kits. It'll be a good little kit for you. All right. So the one time, there's 2 times. Okay. So, okay, here's the part, and it feels braggy. I have only ever lost money on 2 guitars. One time I lost a bunch of money. The other time I didn't really lose money, but it feels pretty braggy to say one time. So I lost money on I can talk about it. Actually, it's not in the list so far. I was running behind on this. My Monkey Sweeper has 2 guitars, and he got super deals on them. I don't want to presume that you're a man or a woman. Don't know. You could be a female monkey sweeper. Anyway, into deep waters. I don't mean to tread, but I have spent the last 20 years obsessing over guitars, buying as many guitars as I can. I've owned thousands of them. My wife and I were trying to even figure out a ballpark figure since I've been married, and it is, I mean, just on the basic numbers of what we have paid for shipping and selling and owning this business for the last while, I mean, it's thousands of guitars. Like it's probably coming up like over 1,000, maybe not to 2,000. I don't know. But when we just look at how many, just in my photos, when you go through photos, what was the other thing? We looked at how many boxes we'd had, like guitar shipping boxes. So anyway, with all that said, let's dig in to, yeah. So the first guitar, and these are in no particular order, and there's not a super long list, but one of the guitars I spent way too much money on, and this is wild, and this is a story I want to keep telling. I will keep telling. So I was starting my YouTube channel. I knew that I wanted to make YouTube videos chasing down guitars, and I knew I wanted to capture people's stories of owning these guitars, and a guitar popped up. It was in Breaux Bridge, Louisiana, which, if you've ever been to Louisiana, if you've ever been to New Orleans, if you get on Interstate 10 and you're headed towards Houston, about halfway through there, maybe a little closer than halfway, is Breaux Bridge, Louisiana. You pass Lafayette, and then you're on the Atchafalaya Basin. You're on this bridge. Also, there's an amazing and terrifying part of World War Z that talks about zombies, and there's a part in there where they talk about, oh, that's so scary. And they talk about Interstate 10. They talk about the Atchafalaya Basin and zombies on there. Anyway, it's worth listening to at some point. But this guitar showed up in Breaux Bridge, Louisiana, and I saw it on Craigslist. And so I immediately was like, hey, I want to buy this guitar. And so this guitar came up, and the guy was asking $2,000 for it. And it was a 73 Martin D35. It's in really good shape, but it's a 73 Martin D35. Not super expensive. This was also in 2016. This was, I was toying. I was thinking about starting a YouTube channel. I was mostly just buying and selling guitars when I was in a sales job. And so this one popped up, and I went over and I met with the guy, and I had $2,000 in cash in my pocket. And I met with him, and he told me this story, and I've told this story before, and I will continue to tell this story because it profoundly changed my life. 15 minutes sitting at a Dairy Queen with a guy in South Louisiana, and my whole life is kind of different. So Dane met me for a cup of coffee and a cheeseburger. He got a cup of coffee. No, he got a cheeseburger. I had a cup of coffee at this Dairy Queen. Sat down. He starts telling me the story about how he's played this guitar for so long, and he and his wife had played in every Baptist church in South Louisiana, and that they would play, and they'd do this old kind of vaudeville, like 2 spotlights, where he would sit on one side of the stage and sing love songs, and then the light would switch, and his wife would be on the other side of the stage, and she would play guitar, and then they would just play and sing songs to each other. And so he ended up telling me about about this guitar and the history of it. And he told me that about a year beforehand, his wife had passed away. And he said he felt like the color went out of the world, was the phrase he used. And he said, it's like, I just don't have anybody to sing or play songs to. And I've only ever written love songs, and it feels too sad for me to sing these love songs without, and I forget his wife's name, Beverly or Bev or whatever. Feels too sad to not have Bev around for this. And he then told me that maybe a month or two before he and I were sitting there, and when he'd finally decided it was time for him to sell the guitar, was when he found out that he had Alzheimer's. So he told me that he'd be honored if I'd own this guitar. And I told him, I was like, hey, I buy and sell guitars. I'm going to have this for a while, but I'm probably not going to keep it forever. But I usually find people that keep guitars forever. And so my role is to find guitars and to bring them into the hands of other players. And so as he's packing stuff up, we work a deal. I pay him $2,000. As we're packing stuff up, he pulls out all the stuff, an old capo, old sheet music, some receipts, a couple matchbooks, like cool old matchbooks. He wanted to keep that stuff, but he took his guitar strap, and it's now one of the straps that I always use, and it says Dane on it. And he took it and he shoved it into the jacket of my Carhartt jacket. And he said that he wanted me to keep it. And I was like, "Why? I don't need your strap." He's like, I want you to keep it. I don't have a guitar anymore. I want you to keep the strap. And that's when he used, just in passing, he said, "It's always been my mission to fill the world with music and friendship. And I always thought the world's a better place when you're singing songs and you're there with other people." And that, it wasn't this like profound, like, aha, oh my gosh, that's my purpose in life moment. But as I drove home, that stuck with me. But I paid $2,000. Now, I don't want to sound ingrateful, but I played that guitar for a while. I really liked it. I ended up selling it. I sold it for $2,200, and I'm not saying I needed to pay him less, but I'm just saying this is a live show in which I get to kind of tell some old stories. So anyway, the Dane D35. I only made a 10% profit. Oh, that sounds awful to say. Not helpful. Not good. I understand why people don't like guitar flippers. So, and Toon says that lost a lot of money off a lot of guitars and amps that I've bought and sold, but never in an absurd way. That's good. I'll come back here. And then also, please someone help remind me. I need to read the comments from Instagram, because I have ones that came in from Instagram, and I'll go faster on these. So the second guitar, I lost money. I didn't lose money, but I cut it straight even 3 times. I have owned this guitar. This is my Taylor 714. I really, really love this guitar, and somehow I have owned this guitar 3 different times. Each time I bought it for $1,400, thinking that it was worth way more, and each time I got chopped down to the bone and hung out as long as I could until I eventually finally took $1,400. I love Taylor 714s. I just don't think that they're ever going to be $2,000 guitars. Maybe they are now. This one was exceptionally good. I loved that it didn't have a cutaway. So it's not a C. And someone added a pickup, so it was just a 714. The next one, the House OM, and he's not in here. He's probably putting ink into people's bodies. But Aaron bought this from me. So my friend Ryan owned this guitar. I got to point the other way now. That guitar. And it's a handmade boutique guitar in Canada by Joshua House. It's a really cool, exceptional guitar. It's interesting. This one was very rough, had tons of weather checking, and then also had a double X bracing pattern that made it sound a little mid-rangey, a little boxy. And he had me sell this guitar on consignment. So I sold it on consignment. I then paid him out because he's a music minister. He was moving to a new town, needed the money, and I thought the deal was done because we were over a week out. Then the guy got the guitar, and he's like, "It's just not at all what I wanted. It's rougher than I thought, and it just isn't that good." So this was like during COVID time, when I was completely self-employed, only doing stuff through Guitar Hunter. And so we had already spent the money, unfortunately. We basically immediately paid a mortgage payment with this. And so about a week out, this guy said, "Hey, I just want my money back, if you can do that." And so I also ended up eating shipping on this one. And so it wasn't my guitar to buy. I didn't buy it in the first place, but then I ended up buying it basically, like I returned it at what I thought was the most this thing would sell for. I think it was like maybe $1,700. No. It was more than that. That's what it was. It was like, I was in this thing like $2,200. Yeah, I'd have to look back at the exact thing, but I was in this thing way too steep. And I was like, oh boy, like I'm now floating it. So what I thought, my first inclination was like, well, I could probably let Ryan know and then he could probably buy it back. But then I talked to Ryan, he bought another guitar and then he also was moving and, just his life was moving on. And so it felt really not helpful for me to put that stress on him. Yeah, how about this? For those of you that like my shirt, you especially would like my coffee cup. But anyway, long story short with this one, I ended up getting it back, and it was, Old West Tattoo, Aaron, was like, hey, I want that OM. I want kind of an OM18 thing. I was like, this thing's cool, but it's not quite that. And he got it, and he didn't like it. And so that's where I was like, oh my gosh, like I don't have, I didn't have like that money to give back to him. So Aaron ended up being amazingly cool about it. And he was like, hey, how about this? I've got an idea. And so he ended up, we worked a deal. I traded him, that was the original deal. I traded him this Guild D40 for it. And Aaron was like, why don't you just put it back on your website and get it sold? And then when it sells, we'll just ship it from me in Arizona. And so that's what we ended up doing. It went to Missouri, and the dude is super happy and loves it. And he paid more than I ended up. So I ended up basically breaking even on that deal. And that one just took a lot of straddling, trying to figure out, like, can I park money in this thing for a bit? Oh, parts casters are a fast way to lose money for sure. Yeah, I somehow didn't lose money on my parts caster. I did a black walnut one a couple years ago, and I was able to then move those parts into other guitars that made money. But yeah, whew. Taylor's changed the tone wood on the 714. Yeah, the one I had was cedar and rosewood. I don't know what it is now. But the next one that I lost money on. Now, this is not the same one. It's also the one right back here. But the only other guitar I've ever lost money on, where do I scoot to get out of this graphic? The only other guitar I've actually lost money on is this Guild D40. Not this one. Sorry, that's confusing. It even says not this one. I had a 64 Guild D40. The one in the picture here is a 1970 or 71. But my first vintage guitar I ever owned, I worked in a guitar shop, and the guy that I worked for gave me a great deal at $400 on a 1964 Guild D40. Now, it was the worst of worst ones, and it was just rough. Did not sound that good. It sounded pretty good. It played really, really hard. The action was so high. I probably lost more money on this because I also put a Shirtler pickup in it, and that sounded awful. And then I put a Fishman in it, and then eventually wound up with an LR Bags. But man, so much energy into that guitar. Then years later, I owned that guitar until a friend of mine went on Young Life staff, and I ended up selling it to give him money so that he could go on staff. So basically, like, Young Life, they're missionaries, and so they're raising their own support. And so if you're around that world, you have lots of friends that are going for it, and you're like, well, if they don't get money, they don't get to do it. So out of not guilt at all, but out of just like believing in my friend Dom, I sold it to give him money so he could go on Young Life staff. And I sold it for $300, which I shopped it for so long, and I just couldn't get anybody to pay anything more. So I ended up selling it for $400 or $300. So I lost $100. I probably lost another couple $100 on the two pickups I had in the meantime. Because used acoustic guitar pickups, sheesh, there's no value in those, or very, very little. So yeah, that's the other one I lost money on. I have one more, but I'll come over here to the comments, and then we're going to read the Instagram. Whatever happened to the Huss & Dalton TDM with the busted headstock? Insurance paid everybody out. The guitar went back to Huss & Dalton and got fixed. And yeah, and then it moved on. What about your Huss & Dalton custom shop? Yeah, so that's the one I lost the most money on. I didn't actually put a picture on it, but that's the one I lost a substantial amount of money. It was it was a Huss & Dalton DRH custom. D2, DRH custom. Dreadnought, rosewood, herringbone, large sound hole, Adirondack spruce top, a Tony Rice spec, which I'm not Tony Rice. I got worked so hard by a sales guy. I wanted a DS Crossroads, like a Gibson-y thing, and I got talked into like a straight up Martin, like rip your head off, so loud guitar. So I had that for a couple years, and yeah. So had that guitar for sure for a long time. And when I was first married, we were starting to kind of like get itchy on where we wanted to move. And so I sold that so that we could fund our move to Louisiana. So I sold my Husson Dalton DRH Custom for $27.50. I bought it for $46.50 or so. And so that was the most money I've ever lost on a guitar. And it was rough. And yeah. So another one that I definitely like, and I called Ben Padgett before this to ask if it's okay for me. But that's another guitar that is funny. Like I paid a lot of money for my Padgett. So I paid $4,000 for the Padgett, plus all the promotion that I did and like how much work I tried to do to help Ben sell more of his guitars. And definitely some people bought them off of that. But yeah, that was one that was like, I'm in it a lot more than I'm in most guitars. And I bought that during self-employed time and just had to really work hard. But I believe in Ben, and I love that guitar. It is my best sounding guitar. Yeah, unreservedly. I don't think I ever would have picked it, but I love how it I love how it sounds, and the looks have grown on me. But it's just really beautiful and awesome. And yeah, I play that one all of the time. It stays in the house. And I'm getting to where I've cleared out so much extra stuff that a lot of the stuff that is out here now is my own stuff. It's I've worked down my huge pile of guitars that I owed videos on. So whoa. I lost so much money buying 100 Martins 9 years ago. That makes sense. All right, last one for me. Wow, that's tiny. The Gibson Hummingbird Pro, aka the Phoenix. I was in this guitar $800, a guitar with a completely broken headstock. Then I spent $100 on a repair that the day I got it home, the headstock came off. That was a guy in New Orleans. I have a video about that. It's called The Worst Repair I Ever Paid For. And I paid $100, and literally that night, it's just like, and the headstock broke off again. So then I had to take it to my friend Tim in Baton Rouge with Tim's guitars, and he saved the day, but it was still, I was in that guitar so deep. So $800 plus the $100, $900. Then I ended up putting another $300 or so into having a new headstock overlay, like the headstock itself. The headstock itself was original because we kept the original serial numbers, but he beefed it up and made it a little thicker. So it got to where it wasn't a Gibson contour on the neck, like from the 3rd fret or the 2nd fret back. And man, so anyway, that one I was scared, and that was my first move, and like, all right, I gotta work up a song and dance and a video and some Instagram posts and really get people believing that this thing is awesome, which it was really cool. But it just didn't feel like didn't have a Gibson neck profile anymore. And it was very clearly broken. But Tim did a great job fixing it, and that's fun. That's a video I made. I filmed it like at our church. Yeah. And I wore shorts, and lots of people made fun of me for having... That's the first time I was called bald, and it was the first time that somebody said that my legs are too white and I should wear pants. So here I am, even worse off, and I got pants on! So anyway, comments hang around in my brain. Daniel, I never told you this. I traded that Cordoba for my pink paisley. Or no, for the pink back here. Also, I just put Mythos pedals. Let me grab that and I'll show you guys. Then Instagram posts. So this guitar, let me come over here and turn that off. This is my PRS SE Custom 24, and these pickups are the Mythos humbuckers. They sound awesome. I just put them in the other day. Didn't make a video about it. Didn't go Instagram Live. I just did it because I like working on guitars. And so, yeah. Could I do it quickly? I could. play for a second. Yes, my RE20. You like this? I love these microphones. I got these a couple years ago from Sweetwater. All right, so let me open console real quick. Oh, it seems loud. Sorry. I know you guys are getting blasted. All right, I'm just going to play this for 1 second. Show off. Yeah. So this is the PRS. I like that. The PRS Bonnie Broyles. It's a little out of tune. Sorry. There it is. So, yeah, that's a super cool guitar, and that's one of the ones that I got a strap for. I think the brown strap is going to mellow that thing out a bit because it's such an intense color. But, all right, let me go over to Instagram and read the last couple, and you guys can join me there. No, don't listen to me. Don't do that. Okay, here we go. I see people in here that commented as well. So, Brandon Ray Smith says, I paid too much when I was first buying and selling guitars. I unknowingly bought a fake USA Fender Strat because I bet somebody bought a decal and made a fake, put a Mexican or a Squire, which I've done it and I'm not proud of it. And yeah. What's real shady is when you buy the decals for the serial numbers and the made in USA. Not cool. Assembling a guitar is not building a guitar. So even if you're assembling it and you're like, well, I put American parts on it and I put it together and I live in Pennsylvania, so it's made in the US. Shady. Not good. Not good at all. All right, Country and Key says, buying a Sigma by Martin Korean copy of a D18 and it needs a neck reset. Oh, that's hard because there's this whole tier of guitars that need a neck reset and you could do a neck reset, but it will never be worth it financially. That's a video. Just have to get enough people to watch it to offset. Because that's what I ended up passing on that Martin Salesman example this week. I could have gotten it for a good price, but I chose to, I'm going to hang on. I chose to pass on it because I just don't need to park that much money into a guitar that I don't know if is worth it or not. And I probably need to be more, I'm not very risky on what I buy. I bought a Fender Custom Shop a while ago that I ended up cutting pretty close. But overall, I've made money on everything, basically. And all of what I do in the guitar world is that I don't let my passions rule me. I don't let impulsivity take over. And the baseline is this. If it doesn't make dollars, it doesn't make sense. If I can't get this thing and sell it in 6 months for at least 10% over, and 10% is where you kind of like, by the time you work out, well, I shipped it and I restrung it and I had to get somebody to do a fret level on it, Yeah. I'm okay with losing a little bit, which I still haven't done. But if you lose a little bit in the slush, just of, you can call it rent. You can say like, hey, well, I had it for a couple years and it, did this amount. So yeah, let me come back over here to the comments. Big Joseph from Detroit. Hey, buddy. Glad you're here. Dream Guitars has a TJ Thompson asking $87,550. Holy moly. I just sold that. Yeah, I just my connection is unstable. If I want a Wi-Fi, I'm into a router. I purposely turned off Wi-Fi to do this. Okay, I just did a coaching call yesterday with somebody asking this exact question. They have a thing that is listed, and they asked me to review, hey, why is this not selling? And I worked through what you're asking, how much you're saying, what words you're using. Your audio just died and came back. All right, it says that I'm back. Sorry. Just saw sound. Now it's back. Okay, I'll start from the top. So, how long do you sell your guitars, or do you wait for your guitars to sell on average before you unlist or change the price? Somebody had me do a coaching call yesterday, and they asked me the same question. They're selling a Gretsch Penguin Falcon, a black Falcon. Super cool guitar. They're asking too much money, I think, or they started asking too much. And so I think generally for me, within 2 weeks, you need some action. And when I say action, you need some, like, not just lowball offers, but some valid offers, something within 20%. And then with those, you're like, okay, I got that. Yeah. Other than that, you can move it. Once it's been out for too long, more than 60 days, I don't like showing it was $4,200, but now $3,100. To me, it's like, all right, you either were trying to screw me over and get top dollar when you first started, or you got a bunch of room on this thing and you were trying to get as much money as you could, or you're now desperate. It's been 60 days. There's no situation in which I'm like, I'll take that price. For me, it's always like, oh, there's blood in the water. I will chop them down even more. And maybe I'm just more aggressive as a buyer than other people are. I am, for sure. But yeah, so I would say 30 days. At 30 days, the three main features you need to have really, really good pictures. If you don't have good pictures, shiny guitars and people's feet, oh boy, you're going to have, take good pictures, work on pictures, get your laundry basket out of the way. Don't lean it on your couch. Get rid of the dog hair on the ground. Just please take good pictures. Write really good descriptions. In your descriptions, you need to be able to do four things. You need to be able to really clearly show how awesome this thing is. Number two, walk them, or number two, redefine why they need that guitar, what problem it fixes in people's life, where it would fit in a mix, where it would fit in a band, where it would fit in a guitar collection. Number three, redirect them around any opposition they would have to buying it. Is it too expensive? Is the shipping expensive? Is the insurance expensive? Is it an unusual color? Whatever objection they would have if you were sitting across from them having a cup of coffee, just talk them through it. Like, hey, most people, spend their whole life chasing after Les Pauls, and so is everyone else. But this, Gretsch, whatever, humbucker guitar, blah, 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 whatever. Fourth thing, make it really easy for them to do business with you. Have a very clear call to action as your fourth thing. And then the last thing, most people will pay more for something if they get free shipping. Don't have like $95 shipping, $150 shipping. It's a game that people immediately feel manipulated when they feel that. They're like, you hung out the bait of a lower price, but then it's $200 more. Or when somebody gives a really goofy price and I can tell, like, oh, they're just adjusting their price so that I'm footing the bill for all the reverb fees. So anyway, Yeah. That's a good question. Are you going to buy a Boucher when you're there? I mean, I'm not going without some money in my pocket. I'm going to see what I can do. Just spent a few days in Nashville and came really close to overspending at Gruen and the Gibson Garage. Gruen Guitars is amazing. I love Gruen. It's still such a fun shop to be in. So, yeah, I get that. I've never bought any. I've bought strings and stuff and shirts and coffee cups from Gruen, but I've never bought a guitar from them because they're real expensive. They're just like way above the market on a lot of things. Surprisingly, on stuff that they think, the stuff they undervalue, check it out. They undervalue 70s. 5 years ago, they were really undervaluing 70s and early 80s Martins. They would have them, but they would be like $1,700, like kind of crazy affordable for things. Tim says, why do people dislike guitars with alternative materials? I own a Martin HPL sides and back. Love it. It sounds great. They do sound great. The people HPL, high pressure laminate, is Formica. Formica is countertops. It's like a plastic material. And so it is both strong, but when it does break, it's actually brittle and it like crumples. So that's why people don't like it. Also, I mean, people are really, rightfully so. They expect wood to be the main constituent material of guitars. And if it's not, they say that it's inferior. The X series has incredible bass response. They sound boomy and full and great. So anyway, let me go through just a couple more Instagram things, and I'm going to respond to these as well. Oh boy, the Panda has a 5-parter. The Panda says, I sold my acoustic to get one that I really wanted, and I sold the older one for a $200 loss. Bought a new one at a premium. Realized that I should have stuck with the old one. Lost $200, or I'm at a $200 loss. Now I'm acousticless and regretting having sold my perfectly fine acoustic. I don't know what I was thinking. Expectation got the better of me. Should have been happy with what I had. The whole thing taught me to be happy with what I have. I wish I still had an acoustic. Oh, buddy. That's hard to... I don't know what the analogy my brain keeps doing is like you're in boats on the river. You're like playing Frogger, and you're like, oh, if I would have stayed back there, I would have been over and would have had a straight line to the thing I wanted. Yeah, I think it's hard. That's why I think it's, and I understand the limitations financially. You can't buy another guitar and have this guitar and decide which one you want and then sell one or return one. So that's where I do think it's helpful. If you're buying from a shop or a person, take your old guitar with you, play what you have there, play what you see, and then that you also have the person see, hey, they're not coming into this lightly or, spontaneously. So I think that's a good idea. Yeah. So, hey, Sam, thank you. Sam says, hit the like button, everybody. Let's get the algorithm rocking for Jeremy. Thank you. That means a lot. It's my goal. I want to hit 100,000 subscribers by the end of this year. I'm trying to figure out what preposterous thing I could do. At 100,000 subscribers, I will. Ooh, I've got an idea. What do you think of this idea? I'm not committing, but I'm at 100,000 subscribers. I will do a road trip where I buy and sell guitars. And the only gas money I have is the profit that comes from buying and selling guitars or busking. Thoughts. And I could go to like Los Angeles. Oh my gosh. I don't think I have vacation time or my wife would be up for this, but let's do it. 100,000 subscribers. I do a road trip that's only funded by the profits of buying and selling guitars. If I resubscribe 600,000 times, what happens? I don't know. Yeah. All right. Mr. Eric J. Pearson Music says, I bought an American Ovation Elite new, and woo, did I learn a lesson. How much are they selling for used? Let's find it. The American Ultra, they're $1,000 new, I believe. Ovation. American Ultra. $799 new. Oh, boy. They were $999 like a year ago. Do Ovation guitars hold their value? That's the first question on Google. The answer is no. They are highly sought after by what? They are highly sought after by collection. I don't believe this for a second. Depending on the model and the condition, of course. Most of the models are awful. It's not true. So I've worked with Ovation. I'm supposed to get 2 Ovations in the next couple months, the new ones. But let's go to Reverb and see what these are doing. Where are you, Reverb? Ovation Ultra. The American, hang on, he's not saying the Ultra. He's saying the Ovation American Elite. Let me come over here. I'll share my screen real quick. Should I make another video about Ovation Elite? All filters. What? I did? Okay. $1,600, $1,200. Yeah, look at this. Like, all of them. Oh, hey, there we go. Flames on it. There's 2 of them. Wait, one is half the price of the other one. Why? Why are we looking at Ovations? That one doesn't suck. That's kind of cool. I do want a 12 string. That's on the list. All right, here we go. Okay. What is an MMV? Jeremy the Guitar Hunter Road Trip Edition. Yeah, I think so. I think it would be fun. I have a couple like grandiose, like if money was no option, what would I do? Well, I'd probably go and try and find the coolest guitar builder and the coolest guitar shop in each state. I would try and buy and sell guitars and then document like culturally, what do people value in guitars? What do people not value? What are things, you know, how does your location really affect? Yeah. How does your location affect the guitar's value? How do people use guitars differently around the country? That's kind of the obvious question. But anyway. Yeah, MMV, they're the ones made for old Guitar Center. All right, well, let's see. That's about all I've got. If you have questions, if you want to learn how to build a guitar, I do have a course. There is a coupon code in the description down below. There's a coupon code that gets you $50 off the course. So that'll bring it down to 97 off of 147. So I can find the code real quick and I'll say it out loud. It's been in the description of most of my videos recently, but let's see if it's in here. Yeah, Guitar Hunter 50. So all caps Guitar Hunter, no spaces, 50. Gets you $50 off the course. So with that course, I will teach you everything you would need to know on how to buy the right guitars, sell the wrong guitars, and build a collection that's meaningful to you. And so that's where, for me, all these guitars you see, I've not paid retail, and I have only ever lost money on 2 guitars. And I've built a collection of guitars that I'm incredibly proud of. So, and are really representative of me. I think that if I died and someone came in here to help my wife sell these, and they didn't know me, they would know who, to some extent, who I am, what I value, what I care about. And so check out Write Guitars Faster. I'm going to come up with another course here soon. We're going to do something a little shorter, a little easier. My phone just fell down. But anyway, back over here to the comments. Why would anyone need a course for buying guitars? Because that's the biggest place that you're going to lose money. Buy a new guitar, lose a ton of money. Buy a guitar without negotiating the deal when you're buying used, lose a bunch of money. The biggest way of people I have talked to who played guitar and stopped playing guitar, most of them said they spent too much money up front, didn't see enough benefit, and then when they sold their guitar, they lost too much money. So that's like people in real estate. you don't make your money when you sell the house. You make your money when you buy the house. So the same thing with guitars. Yeah, dude, thousands of people I've helped walk through this process, and almost everybody says the same thing. I spent too much money on the first guitar. I freaked out. I sold it too cheap. I didn't know how to sell it. Somebody, just gave me, half of what I was asking for, and I felt like I had to. And then they left playing guitar with just a bad taste in their mouth. So a surprising amount of people need help. Now, there's 3 things. And the course, mistakes were made. I think Write Guitars Faster is probably too comprehensive. It's 19 videos. It's a huge amount. It is how to buy guitars, sell guitars, and collect guitars. And there's a lot of detail in there. But anyway, so, all right. Well, that's all I've got. Thanks for hanging out. I'm Jeremy. I'm the Guitar Hunter. Thank you for helping fill the world with music and friendship. I hope you have a good weekend. And yeah, so buy t-shirts if you want them. The coupon codes will still work through this weekend, and then we're all done. Thanks for hanging out. See you later. Bye.